everyone. I'll just wait for everyone to get in. Hiya May. Hiya Marilyn. It's lovely to see you here this morning. Hiya May. Oh. Hiya Marilyn. Let me just turn that off. Hi Vicky. Hi Amanda. Hiya Heather. Your picture was looking really good. Hi Cassandra. Hi my love. Hi Kim. Good morning everybody. So I'm just going to follow on with the picture that I started in this book yesterday. And again, this is a book from my local pound store. So I don't actually have a link for it. But I'm positive that the images in this book you will be able to find in other budget colouring books. Hi Mama Wilkes. Good morning. So we started this one and it's of Anita and I'm positive she's called Anita and Perdita. And I'm first going to start off by doing the black on her hat, her shoes and the book, and then that is her complete. So I'll zoom right in and we'll get started straight away. I'll just change where I've got some stuff positioned. There we go. There's no shadow there now. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. Right, so I left these parts out yesterday because I wasn't quite sure on a black colour combo. But I've figured one out and I've added in some purples as well, just to go with the band on her hat and also her scarf. Yes. Ooh, I'll just grab my sharpener. How is everyone this morning? I woke up feeling terrible this morning, but I'm not too bad now. I'm feeling a bit better. I've still got my sore throat, but again, not as bad as yesterday. So because this is supposed to be black, I'm not doing a very light base coat, which is why I've gone straight for the 70%. Oh, very nice, Marilyn. It's definitely the weather for it today. Well, I couldn't let everybody down. So I'm just a bit croaky. And I've got plenty water beside me. So we'll just see how it goes. Right, so that's the base coat of the 70%. And then I'm going to come in with 90% cool grey. And this is where I'm now going to start bringing it out from the shadows. So behind the flower. I'm not pressing very hard just yet. I'll get all of the shadows mapped in, and then we'll just go back over. Hi, Sue. These areas under here will definitely be dark. So just for the purpose of the flower, it nearly meets the bottom of the hat. So I'm just going to pretend that it does and take the shadow all the way from the bottom out. And then again from this part here. And then this is where I'm going to bring the purple in, and I've chosen two of the purples that we used yesterday for the scarf and the band, and that is Parma Violet and Dioxizine Purple Hue. And I'm just going in with the lighter one first. Okay, Heather, enjoy. And I'm just coming out from the very first point here where the shadow would begin, and I'm not putting much pressure on at all, but I'm using this like it would be the base coat, and I'm going right the way to the edge. Hiya, Mia. Hiya, Bear. Right, and now I'm going in with the darker purple, and that's Dioxizine. I say this name different every time. Purple Hue. If it any help for anyone, it's PC132. And this time I'm going over all of the darker areas with it. But again, not pressing very hard. because we are just wanting a hint of the purple within the black colour combo. Hiya, Judy. Did you not enjoy it then? You'll have to try watching it again when you're less tired. Right, so I'm now going to come back in with the lightest shade of grey that I have, and that's the 70% cool grey. Again, I'm not using a heavy pressure because we don't want to take the purple colour out. I actually quite like the new Mary Poppins. I mean, yeah, it didn't have super memorable songs like the first one did, but I still enjoyed the film. I'm now coming in with the black, but I'm not putting loads in with it. I'm definitely going to go over the areas where there wouldn't be any light at all. Yes, I really enjoyed Aladdin, and I don't think I've seen Saving Mr. Banks. Good morning, Sammy. Right, so I'm only just putting a little bit of the black in, and that is only on the heavier shadowed areas. And then I'm going to grab Dioxizine purple hue again. Hiya, Gabby. Maybe that's what I need right now, Judy, is a spoonful of sugar. You'll be trying to tear me off the ceiling. Okay, so I'm just using this colour to add in that bit purple hint again, and just to drag out that black. Then I'm going in with the 70% cool grey again. And at the back of her hat, I'm using that to go right to the edge. And I'll use this to go to about here, just along the edge. And then just to fade this bit out. Then I'm going to grab the Parma Violet and very, very lightly just go over the very end of the hat there. And then with the lightest pressure possible, with the 70% again, just go over that. So we're keeping the black, but we've also added in a hint of the purple to match the band and her scarf. Right, and then that is her hat done. And then I'm going to move down and we're going to do the same with the book in a way, but not as much purple, because obviously, obviously with the book it's not part of that outfit. So I might still use the darker purple, but I'm going to omit the Parma Violet for this one. So again, I'm going to do a whole base in the 70% cool grey. So yes, with this book being from my local budget store, I would imagine that the images are quite generic and you would be able to find them in other budget store Disney books. I'm then going to come in with the 90% cool grey. And this is where I'm going to start putting in the shadows, and we're going to have shadows above and below her arm. We'll do the ones below first. It's not going to be much of a highlight there. And I'm going to use this part of the book to add another shadow on, just so that we can tell the difference from the spine to the front cover. Yeah, but I've got a couple that have the same pictures in. That's why I realised that being a generic, well, being a budget book, there may very well be a few that have the same pages in, because I was looking through another Disney book that I have, and it has this exact same image in it. Right, so we'll have shadowing coming up from her hand and her arm, because with the book pointing down over, I wouldn't imagine that there would be much of a highlight on the book. Yes, actually, I think that image is in this book as well. I'm sure I saw it yesterday when I did the quick flip through. I'll have a quick look. Or even this one as well. This one's been in a few books, I've noticed. But definitely some of the other ones I've seen in other books, like this Bambi one here. Mia, this was a book I got from my local pound store. But definitely some of the images in here are in other books. Right, so I'm back with the 90% cool grey just to finish this section off here. Again, we will bring the shadow up from the crease of her elbow, and then I'm going to use this section here to bring shadow down as well. Hi Tony. So now I'm going to come in with the Dioxizine purple hue, and like before, I'm just going to go over all of the shadowed areas that we've just done. We're not using the Parma Violet this time. And if you don't want much purple on the book, or if you don't really want the book to show purple at all, then just leave it out. You don't have to add it. You could just go with the greys and the black. I am putting a little bit a little bit more pressure on these areas than I am these areas. And then I'm going in with the black. Morning, Louise. I think actually this is quite a popular colour in clothes, to be honest, is like these olivey moss type greens. I've seen them quite a few times. So I'm using the black now, and I'm going in just on the darkest areas of where there is shadow. So I did have plans this month to colour more Disney pictures, but I have been trying to get a lot of my buddy colours that I've had long standing, and also some of my whips done this month. So I've not actually had a chance to colour any specific Disney pictures till now with this one. But that's alright, because to follow on with this month, I am also hosting Disney next month. So if you don't get any finished, you can carry them on for next month. Or if, like me, you didn't get many done, you can do some next month. So with black, I'm not pressing very hard at all, because I don't want to saturate the page and not have you able to see the purple. I'm then going to go back in with the 90% cool grey. It is quite a 70s colour, and like this as well, when you see it matched with the skirt, or if it was trousers, then it is definitely more early periods, because you don't often see women wearing full top and bottom matching suits now. You do in like businesses, but not just out and about everyday life like this. Just under here. I'm then going to bring back the purple. Yes, it is Sammy. That is Sir Ian clicking away. He is playing World of Warcraft. So I'm just adding that hint of purple back in there. Sammy's saying hi.
Hi. Is that camp enough? I'm doing a better one.
That was fine. Totally fine. Yes, she did. She looked amazing in a suit. I remember, I mean, obviously I was very young when she passed, but I do remember seeing her in a top to toe blue suit, and it looked really good on her. And I don't know if that was just because of her blonde hair or not, but she did suit a good suit. She pulled them off well. So there's a couple of us doing Disney again next month then. Right, and then just to go over everything, I'm coming back in with 70% cool grey. But I'm only very lightly going over with this, because again, I don't want to take the purple out. I'd like the purple to stay there. Oh, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the stream, I did colour her legs in last night. So we don't have to worry about any skin today. And then just in this bottom corner here and here. And that is her book. I might give the page edges a bit of a yellow tinge, but I'll think about that and I'll come back to it, because obviously book pages are never really bright white. There we go. And then the only black thing left to do are her shoes, which again I'm just going to add a small bit of purple in. So I'll keep to using the Dioxizine purple, but this time I won't be doing as much of the lighter colour grey. I'm just going to use this as a base. So I'm going to do the whole of the shoe in the 70% cool grey. But because these are right down at the ground, I don't want as much of a highlight on them, if any. I just don't want them to look flat black. Vanessa, I'm using Prismacolors. And if you'd like the numbers as well as the names, just let me know. So again, I'm just going to put in where I think there would be shadowing mostly. So definitely on the heel. And welcome to the chat, Vanessa. And then I'm going to do the same as yesterday where I had a shadow going all the way down the back. I'm going to bring it from the back of her heel. And I'm also going to have a slight shadow coming up from the bottom of the shoe. And again with this one, now I'm coming back in with Dioxizine Purple Hue, and I'm going to go over all of the shadows that I've just put on. Very light pressure. On the heels, I've took it all the way to the tip of the heel. And then I'll bring it all the way to the toes of the shoe. So now that we're actually into the weekend, does anybody have any Disney plans except colouring for over the weekend? Definitely, that definitely counts. I'll be doing my Mad Hatter DP, so that will definitely count. I'm using black now. Oh, a lot of people are watching Once Upon a Time at the moment. It's a really good series. I've already watched it. So I'm using the black, but I'm not putting loads on. Again, I have the lightest of pressures because we don't want to saturate the page and take away the purple colour. So I'm just going over with the black where I want the biggest shadow. And definitely on the heel of the shoe there will be a big shadow. And many others, Mia. I do have Ralph Breaks the Internet to watch still, so I think I'll definitely fit that in this weekend because I really do like Vanellope. Actually also gives me an excuse to pull out a Vanellope picture to colour in, because I haven't done the one from Portraits yet and I really like it. Right, so now I'm coming in with the 90% Cool Grey again. Hi Alana. Yay, which one, Louise? What did you think of that Lion King, Marilyn? That's what Netflix is there for, Judy. You just pile them all into your watch list and you just watch them one after the other. Right, so I'm using the 90% Cool Grey and very lightly I'm just going over everything. But I am going to do another layer of the purple. Just so that I know that you can still see it. Right, so I'm just coming back in with Dioxizine Purple Hue, and this will be my last layer on our shoes. But again, just very light pressure. You don't want to burnish the page. There's not really any need for it, to be honest. So really with her hat, her book and her shoes, depending on which light you look at them, she could either be wearing black or purple. And both go really well with her green suit. Right. So I'll zoom out so we can see her completed. There we go. That is her done. And I'm quite happy with that. The only other thing that, apart from the collar on Purdy, is her nose is black. So I'm just going to do black to begin with and fade it out to the edge and make the edge of her nose the 70% cool grey. And again go in with the black. I'm not using a hard pressure like before. And again with the 70%. And then all that's left to do on her is her collar, which is light blues. Right, so we'll zoom in on her collar, and we may as well do her collar. And I'll grab some blues. Right, I'm definitely going to use electric blue because I really like that colour. And blue slate. And powder blue. I'm just going to give those a quick tester before we go ahead for definite. Right, so that's quite pale. It's definitely darker. Okay, we might not be going with this selection. Just give me a second. Right, they definitely go. I'm taking, we're not using blue slate, so I'm just going to pop that back. Let me have a look at this one. Nope, that's too dark. That's a bit too dark. Oh, I know. Perfect. Right, so I've replaced blue slate with Caribbean Sea. Right. So I'm just going to give the collar a base coat of powder blue. And then the electric blue, I'm going to use this to do the shadowing, and this time it would come from down here because it's underneath her. And then my darkest blue is the Caribbean Sea. I do like the Little Mermaid, I must admit. So I'm only putting a little bit of this down the bottom here. And then again, back in with the electric blue. I'm just bringing that up. And then again, back in with powder blue, just to make that look less white. There we go. That was a quick bit. Right. So that is the characters completed on the page. Time for the background. So to try and break up the page from this green, and obviously because there's green in the background, I want to make these slightly darker because they are behind her. So I'll have a look and see what dark greens we have. We have olive green and dark green. And then Prussian green's quite dark. And in terms of a lighter tone, the sap green light is quite a darker highlighting tone. There is marine green, and Limepeel works quite well as a highlighter. going to bring in bronze. And also green ochre and kelp green. And then if we need any more colours, I'll come back. Gold might be a good accent colour again. I'm just having another drink. Right. Let's have a look. So those two are accent colours. Those two are my highlighting colours. And then I've got all of these. So I think we'll start with this one here because it's more pronounced. So I'll zoom in for that one. And this time, I'm going to put my darkest colour down first. And I'm going to use olive green. So I'm just going to give that a sharpen. We need to decide on what colour door we're going to have as well. Right, so as you can see on this bush, we have all of these little sections that come off. And I want to do it so that these bits stand in front. So all of my shadows are going to be in these bits here. So I'm going to bring all those parts out. I'll start off with a medium pressure and I'll fade up out of them. And then the same again on these ones. And it's okay because the bush is quite big if we bring this up quite a way. Hi April! Thank you for joining us this morning. Ooh, we'll have to have a look after I've streamed. And I've also just nearly knocked my water off the table. Right. So now doing this bit, this looks like it's in front of this part. I'll add a bit more shadow around this section, just so that bit looks like it's still in front. And if I can, I'd like to try and add a bit of shadow coming from this fence as well. Not much, but I'll give it a go. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Oh, I used to love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I must have watched that like 1,000 times when I was younger. Another film that had really good songs with it. Memorable songs. Right. I'll finish doing around these parts first, and then I'll have a look and see how we're going to do the fence. Because it's not really something I've done before. Hiya, Sean. Because with the fence, we'll have to remember that it's not directly in front of the bush. There is a bit of a gap, so it's not like it's gonna have the shadow coming directly off. Right, so this part here, this bush is definitely in front, so we do have a shadow for that one. And we'll definitely see a bit of a shadow, even if it's not much, coming from the stone here. Right. So I'm going to think that I've done this. If it comes up just a little bit, maybe. I've got to take in the gap consideration. Right, so I'm going to do this very lightly, but I'm going to say that if I do it like this, we'll just keep this colour on this bush for now. But if we do it like that and say we'll come up this height, so then we'll have the fence here. And then we'll carry that on for the wall afterwards, because obviously that's behind the bush, so that's going to make it go up a little bit further. No storm here. The last time I looked out the window, it was really sunny. Right. So again, I know that's not super straight, but that's all right. And we'll come up to about here. And then we'll do the same for them all, and we'll kind of keep this line here. Maybe it's a bit higher because these ones do go up a bit higher. Keep that for this one. We'll just do each one individually. There we go. That looks all right to me. Right. So I'm going to leave that like that for now. That was just a general outline. I'm going to use bronze next to come in and emphasize some of these shadows. Oh, very nice, Mia. You'll have to share some around. Right, so I'm using bronze and I'm just going in some of these areas, mainly more of them that dip in. Oh, Sean, this is this one. I got this from Poundland. But I was just saying earlier on that a lot of the images in this book are generic in quite a few of the more budget books, because I've got another colouring book which has this exact image in it and a couple of the other ones in here as well. Yeah, it might be a nice drink, Mia, but I don't think you should be having it at this time of the day. Because isn't it really early of a morning for you? Like middle of the night morning early. Right, so as you can see with the bronze, it does have this sort of similar colour to it, which is fine for what I'm after, for putting it right in the shadows there. Well, the reason why I chose this image particularly is because you don't normally see people colouring in characters you don't see very often. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody colour in Anita here, or even Purdy. So I thought, why not go for something different? And I really like the image anyways, because I'm trying to lean more towards pictures that have a lot of background and less character, if you know what I mean. Oh, I see. Right. That's a funny night, Frank. It's quite quiet in the house today. I said this yesterday as well. I mean, the kittens run rampant all night long. And even all day long. And then as soon as I get my streams up and going, or even to make a video, they just seem to disappear and go to bed. Which is great, don't get us wrong. But it's like, why can't you do that the rest of the time? Like when I want to go to sleep. Right, get this shadow down on this bush at the base of it. Right. So I'm going to use, I'll finish this bit here, but I'm going to use this colour over the shadowing for the fence as well. I can try and keep the shadows all of the same colour. Right. Just gonna add in a little bit more shadow now that we've got the placement. So if I don't get this finished on the streams for the Disney-a-thon, I will finish this off in my own time. Oh, sorry, I just hit the camera there. Hiya, Corolla. That's Ian. He's on his computer. Right. So I'm now going to come in with Limepeel. And this is going to be my lightest shade. So I'm just going to pull that from the other colours very, very lightly. But yeah, Ian's at his computer, so he has his fan on, which has been making a funny noise lately. But that's not as bad as when it's first turned on. So yeah, with this colour, I'm just going over the whole of the bush. With hardly any pressure. No, that is a specific mechanical keyboard. They're used for gaming. Right, so the shadows for the fence are definitely on the bush now, because they stand out a mile compared to this light colour at the moment. But with a bit of luck, I can sort that out. Thank you, Corolla. Right, so that is all of the base colours down on the bush. And I'm going to build on the shadowing now. Especially around these areas. Oh, that's fantastic, Corolla. Well, I'm on till, well, for another hour, 40 minutes. I'm not too sure who's on after me. I don't have the schedule up at the moment. Excuse me. Right. So put those ones there for the minute. So I'm going back with the olive green again. You see, I only quite like the top bit so far, and the fact that I've managed to put some shadows in for the fence. I'm going to build on all of these shadows so the top may be more shadow than anything else when I'm done, but that's alright. As long as I can get some more up from here, just so it's not just one flat colour. So again, I'm just using a very light pressure with the olive green, and I'm going to try and bring it up a bit more. Could put some shadow in. Well, no, because she's far too far away for that. Right, we're not going to put shadow in coming from a hand, because that wouldn't be right. Alright, so Isabel's up next, okay. Right, so I'm just going to bring the shading up from the base of the bush. So this shadow here is not coming from a hand, but from this section here. I think we're still going to have a big area here, which is just going to be the lime peel. Isabel's channel is called the Passionista Colorista, I think, but I'll get the link for you, which I can do that now. And then you have it. If you haven't watched Isabel's channel before, she is lovely. Oh, thank you, Sammy. I just got it. But yes, Isabel's a lovely lady. So if you haven't watched her channel before now, then you definitely should after I've finished streaming. It's alright, son, it's just the door. Just the mailman. It would be so handy if you could get the mail, Frank. I'm going to start training you to get post without shredding it. Hiya, Louise. Oh, thank you, Louise. And definitely, Corolla, relax and enjoy everyone's streams. Right, so I'm just bringing a bit of this shadowing from the bottom up. I've got this brought up a little bit. Right, so I'm going back in with bronze now. I'm just concentrating mostly on the below this part because I'm quite happy with the way that looks. So I'm just going to concentrate anything below here for now. And I'm just going over the shadowed areas again. Honestly, Sammy, this paper is not too bad at all. The pencils are laying down on it really well, which I was also surprised at yesterday when I was doing all of the layers for her skin and on her jacket. As long as you don't burnish the page, then it seems to work really well. And if you turn over, I haven't put anything between the pages, but there's no imprint on this side coming from the print on this page, which is also a good bonus. So I'm going to pop this bronze down and then I'll go over everything with the Limepeel again. And I've definitely brought the shading up a bit further this time, even if it is slightly unrealistic as to where I've put it, but that's fine because it's a cartoon image. And especially with the fence sort of thing, I am still learning how to do that. I am going to go back up here and just add a bit more of this colour in, just so that the top here doesn't stand out too much from the bottom in terms of colour. Oh, thank you, Louise. I'm honestly just doing no different to what I would do in my other books. Yes, in some of my other books I have learned from other people and from doing other pages in them that you should definitely have something between the pages. And I did just go straight ahead with this, and I didn't do any form of practicing or whatnot. But I don't know if that's just because with this book I knew that I had a backup page in my other book that I found the page in, so that could explain that. So now I'm going to go back in with the Limepeel. And again, I'm just going to go over everything. I'm not going to put heavy pressure on. I'm just going to let the pencil do all the work. See, that's looking a lot better up here. The colours are all starting to blend together well. And I think it helps by adding that bronze to the shadowing. Right, so to prevent any streaking, because pencils can still streak, so to prevent the streaking in this area, because it's a big area, just do small sections and just make sure that you don't change your pressure as you're going. As you saw when I did the olive green and the bronze, I didn't go back over the fence shadowing I'd put on. But I think that was a good choice to make, because we don't want them to stand out too much. Well, Sean, if he's got no intention of streaming anymore, then just take his time. It's not as if like he owned that time. He's not going to use it anymore, so just take it. If he comes back to streaming, then he'll just have to find another time slot to stream if he doesn't want to stream at the same time as you. So I'm definitely liking how this second layer of the Limepeel is looking now that I've put more shadow in. Speaking of shadow, how is shadow, Sean? Well, I know, Sean, but if he said that he's not going to stream, it's not a case of you being horrible, just taking the time slot.
I'll just come and go.
As cats do, Sean, as cats do. Honestly, I'm having, with these kittens, they're climbing all curtains possible. So that's bedroom, living room, and even the shower curtain. And I'm having to replace curtain hooks left, right and centre because Poppy is snapping them all. by climbing the corners of the curtains. Right, so I quite like how this has turned out, and I don't really want to overdo it, so I think I'll leave that bush as it is. Just going to quickly run my eraser over the fence area there because it has turned a bit green. Say Monday is the beginning of the week, so it's when everyone goes back to work, and I think everyone's just super tired from work on their first day back of the week. So I think Sunday would be a good day to stream, definitely. But no, try it. I mean, even if you think that streaming at that time's not for you, you can just do your Monday stream again. Oops, I've gone over there. A bit better. Right. I think I need more control over using this rubber. Slightly has a mind of its own. Right, I definitely went over the edge. There we go. There we go. So I'm not doing any more with that bush. Hiya, Pickle. I may come back to it, but I'll see how the other bushes turn out. Right, so this one here, I'd like to be a bit darker, and I'm not going to use bronze or gold in this one because I'd like it to stay rather green and not have the brown elements in. So I'm not going to use Limepeel on this one either. So my lightest tone for this one is going to be the sap green light. So I'll just give that a sharpen. Well, funnily enough, I haven't changed the batteries in that eraser since I got it. And I've had it since October, I think, last year. So I've nearly had it a year, and I've not had to change the battery yet. Oh, have you grabbed something nice? Thank you, Judy. Okay, Louise. Are you making anything nice? Right, so this little bush down here, there's not many like bits that would jump up in front, so there's going to be a lot of colour here, but we can bring the shadow up from this section. So I'll just give it all a base coat of this, which is the sap green light. It can still come out fairly dark. but that is alright. It's the sort of colour we're looking for. I may even get a different green out, which is Celadon green, because that works well with this colour. So with this colour and also the Celadon green, you'll find they have more of a grey undertone. So it brings out a whole different aspect of colour than it would from this one. Oh, very nice, Sean. Oh, I'm not in shot fully. Let me just move this down a bit. Right, so that's that, and I'm going to grab the Celadon green. So this is Celadon green. So as you can see, it does have the grey undertone to it, which you can't really tell as much in the sap green light, but it is definitely there. Yeah, Sani is normally what you say to your friends. Or if like us, you just say Sani all the time. Right, so I'm using this colour to add in the shadowing. There's not a lot of difference in this colour and the sap green light, but you'll definitely see it when I get it all over for the shadows. So I'm going to bring all of the shadow up from the stone, and then I'll do these little bits here, and then I'll add in the fence again, because this time we have to remember that the fence goes this way, so we'll more than likely not see this part, but we'll still see these bits here and here. Right, so I'm going to add this little bit to come up from the bottom. And then this here is still going to be slightly over a bit. So I'm just going to add that in. And then again here, which, yeah, follows on down. And I've coloured this bit in already, but it would have just touched this edge here, but I've already coloured that bit in. So this will still be slightly ahead, but not as far as it would here. So I'm going to put it right beside. And these poles along the front here, well, just on the corner really, because these ones go back small, are a lot thicker than the ones that go up there. So I've made their shadow a bit thicker. And then I'm just going to add in the shadow from the bushes that come forward. Right. So there's not as much shadowing on this bush, but that's alright. I think I'm going to get one more colour for this particular bush, and that is Jade Green. And as you can see, that's more grey tones as well. So I'm just going over the top of some of the shadows that we've done, because this is slightly darker. It means that we can fade up a bit more with the Celadon green. If I use this on top of the other shadows. There we go, and then I'm just going to go over everything again with the sap green light. And that includes the shadows. So the sap green light is where you're going to get most of your actual green colour from, and not so much the grey undertones. They are there, but not as dominant as in Celadon green and Jade green. And I haven't used a hard pressure at all at any time. It's all been a light pressure. There we go, and I'm just going back over with the Jade green just on the shadowed areas, just to make sure that you can see them. With these colours having a grey undertone, you could use a light grey for your shadow colour, but you don't have to. You can just keep it to these colours, and then it stays green, or at least have the green tone to it anyways. Surely I've not said it that much. But considering I am colouring in a bush, then I'm bound to say it quite a few times. Oh, thank you, Heather. Right, so I've got one last bush. And I've got a few greens here that I've not used yet. So I'm just going to move out the olive green, and I don't actually want to use dark green. I'm going in with actually, let me just test this colour a second. See, they look very similar. Right, okay. So, I don't want that one at all. So the colours I'm using for this bush, and they're all very similar colours. So I've got marine green, kelp green and Prussian green. And let me just double check these two again to see which is the lightest. Right, so my base coat is going to be kelp green. I'm actually not going to sharpen this because this is quite a big bush. I'm going to guess that here is where this part stops. So this will be, that could have very well been that bush, but then again that could come down there. Right, this is going to be part of this one. So we're going in with kelp green as the base for everything. So next week I will be streaming my normal time on the Friday, but I won't be at home. I'll be with my mum's house because her and my granddad are going on a cruise again, so I'm dog sitting. Oh, how cute, Judy. Right. So because with the crease of the book making me add more colour here than I was wanting, I'm going to have a shadow coming from this side of the page. What's he eating? What you eating? Biscuits?
A biscuit. Alright.
He's eating a biscuit, but he ate the last one in the packet. Eat. So I'm going to add a bit of colour in with Prussian green. And like I said, I'm now going to use this to bring in shadow from you would never get the last Rolo. It's like having your best friend. Oh, I was just about to say it's like having your best friend and you promise your best friend the last Rolo and then you go to give them it and then shove it straight in your mouth. Just so you know guys, I wasn't reserved the last biscuit. Right, so from adding the shadow from this side, I don't think we're going to see it from the fence just on this one, but that's okay. If I add a bit more of a darker colour, you would. Yes, I know. Just pretend you can't hear them. You've got your headphones on. I was going to say you've got your headphones on, so unless you're actually listening to the stream. Right. So I'm going to add in, if I press slightly harder, there you can just see it. Right. So you can still have the shadowed fence posts. And I'm just going to put a little bit there, but I don't think we'll see that once I do the shadow down there. And then like all of the other bushes, I'm going to use these sections to make it look as if they're in front. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. It's very much appreciated. And that goes to anybody who puts a thumbs up on my video. So this one also, and I'm guessing because it's a bigger bush, has a lot more that looks as if it's in front, but we still have this big area here which has nothing. So we'll just work with what we have first. Oh, Beth, that is very true. Hi, Jo Beth. Oh, thank you. And happy Saturday to everybody. Technically the first day of the weekend. Right, so I have 1 hour left of my stream. At least we know we're going to have the bushes finished. So you won't have to hear me say bush anymore. Right, so again, she's too far away to leave a shadow, I would imagine. And if she did, it would be well down here. Because obviously the sun is not coming from the ground. Have a nice day, Sean. Thank you for dropping in. It is certainly warming up here, I tell you that. I could do with a fan on myself. Right, I'm going to come down here just a moment and add a little bit of the shadowing from the bottom.
Tell you I'm going to go quiet. I'll try and get it mute straight over.
Okay, that's fine. You're putting the sports on again. You're putting the sports on again. You should see if there's any UFC on.
If not possible.
Right, I'm just bringing this shadow across more. And then I'll finish doing these bits. Hey, Spicy! Good morning. Hi, Rebecca. Happy Saturday to everybody coming in. It's taken me all my time not to add a shadow coming from her bum, which is too far away. Right, so I'm now coming in with the marine green. Just need to, what am I? Right. I'm going to come back in with the kelp green first, and I'm just going to try and blend that a bit so it doesn't look too in your face. Take care, Mia, and I hope you get some sleep. Right, so the kelp green was the colour I used as the base coat on this bush. So what I'm doing now is, although it will go on darker than the first layer, I am just going over everything just to try and blend that out. And I'm not putting any pressure on at all. Well, I am, but not to the point where the page is burnished or I'm putting a lot of colour down. I'm literally just doing it to blend out the Prussian green we just used. So this post is disappearing like I thought it might. That's alright. That is alright. Because obviously with some shadows, if they're overlapped with another one, you don't see them anyways. Ah, Sean said it was Isabel who was on next. That's why Sammy got Isabel's link. So everybody, it is our lovely spicy Pat who is on next, and that will be in 50 minutes. Hiya, Emily. And if I've missed anybody else coming in, just say hi. Right. So I think what I need is to go darker still on the shadows, and to maybe keep this colour as the base colour to keep going back to, and we'll have this darker than these ones. So I'm going to grab dark green, and I'm going over the shadows again. Oh, very nice, Louise. Funnily enough, I nearly did a Lady and the Tramp page from this book. If I just show you, because it's super cute. I did see this one, but I wasn't going to do that one. So I did have this one in the book, but if I can find it, it is at the back somewhere. I was going to do this one where she was the present near the beginning. That was the one I was going to do, and then I decided to do this one. So I'm still using the dark green, and like I said, I'm just going over where we did all of the shadows. That one where she's in the package as well would be a good image to do as a Christmas image. You can make the paper all Christmassy and use lots of glitter, and yes, it would be a good picture for that. So for everyone who's just come in on this one, I have used this section of the page to be where shadow comes from. So this whole side has shadowing. I'll just bring that out, and then I'll do these bottom parts. and bring that up just a little bit. And then it's just going around all of these sections to make them look as if they're brought forward. Yes, Emily, this was from my local pound shop. And surprisingly, the paper in it is really good with the Prismacolors that I'm using. It does have generic images in it that you would find in other budget Disney books, but sometimes I think that can be a blessing, because the paper in these books can be quite awful to work with. But I'm pleasantly surprised with the paper in this one. So I definitely know that I can use Prismas in it in future. I'll just have to give other pencils a go in it and see how they go. Right, so that is the dark green. And I'm going back in now with the, if I can find where I've put it, the Prussian green. Funnily, you mentioned crayons. Me, Sam and Susan were talking this morning about using crayons on a picture, and I gave all of my Crayola Twistables to Ella. Well, if I'm going to have to attempt to do a crayon picture, I'm going to have to get them back off her and try them out. But this seems to be a good book to attempt it on. So I'm just blending out from the dark green with the Prussian green. And this bush is now looking a lot darker, which is what we were after. But yes, using the Prismas on this, I've done quite a few layers on her skin and on her outfit and on the bushes, and so far I've had no rippage or any sort of paper coming loose. And when you turn the page over, there's no imprint from the image on the other side on the following page. So as an all-rounder, it seems really good. And then I'm going to go over one final time with the Kelp green, and that'll just be to bring everything back together. So I've got a few streams I need to catch up from yesterday, as I was out. I was at a hospital appointment yesterday morning. And that tired me out quite a bit, so had to remedy that by sleeping. Well, I don't think I'll get this finished in an hour, in 38 minutes. So I had said before that I won't continue this on any streams or videos, but what I'll do is I'll finish it in my spare time and I'll include it, because I have got plans to do a finished pages video this month for the first time. I'll include it with that. And I'll definitely post it up on Instagram to show with the hashtag as well. Right. So I'll just zoom this out and we'll see what that one looks like with the rest. And I think it actually goes really well. Hiya, Selena. But yes, I'm liking the way this is looking so far. Right. Now which bit to do next? So these are the hard parts. Is what to do next. No, thank you everyone. Ooh. Right. I'm just deciding on what part to do next. We could do the window or the door. Let me grab my tablet a moment. Right. I'm just looking for a quick reference picture, because the one off yesterday won't be any good right now, because she was sat on a park bench. What we do need ideally is one of the front of the house. Oh yes, with Baloo the bear. It's certainly not the part I was looking for. Right. Of course, it doesn't actually show you. Right, okay, so does anybody have any preferences to what colour this door should be? We could do it dark blue maybe, or purple. Yeah, we could go purple again. Right, let me just grab some purples then. Right, so let's have a quick vote. What colour do you think the door should be? We've got 2 for red, 2 for purple, and 1 for mahogany dark brown. The choice is totally up to you guys. Three for purple, 3 for red, 4 for purple. Oh, wait a minute, you're saying red again. Two for mahogany. Thank you, Emily. Enjoy your day. Right, so if I do mahogany browns, what I could do is make it like a red as well by adding in Tuscan red. So if I move these greens out the way, because we are getting more red votes now. Right, so Tuscan red, mahogany red. I'm bringing a bit of henna and sienna and terracotta maybe. And then maybe just to have a highlight, but not a highlight, could use Crimson Lake. Hiya, Kenny. Babe, could you do me a favour? Would you be able to get the fan and just kind of point it towards me somehow?
Jesus Christ.
Thank you. I'm dying right now. Right, let me grab my scrap bit of paper. Thank you. Yeah. And just because I was starting to feel a bit ill again.
Too much on it.
I'm done in half an hour, my love. Right, so I've got those colours which are better off at that side. So I may not be using those, but sticking with these. So it is going to be more of a red. Honestly, the past few days, it's been cold in 1 second and then red hot the next. Hiya Mary, thank you for joining and thank you very much. Right, so this dough, I'm going to put a base coat of henna. I just have to take a quick drink. Right. And just move up a little bit there because I realise I'm not in. Probably, Pat, probably. Because the weather just doesn't seem to know what it's doing. And it's so stuffy sometimes in the house. So this doesn't look so red right now, but I do have reds out. It's just not going to be a bright red dough. I'm alright, Mama Wilkes. I'm just a bit hot, but I've got the fan on me now. I'm being well looked after. And I'm only on for another 25 minutes, so I can finish this, or at least get the dough on its way, and then I can go and relax for a little bit and watch other people stream, and then I can have the fan full on in my face. Right, so I'm just going to work on the main frame of the dough first. Right. I'll just have a quick look at my bit of paper. Right, so what I'm going to do now is come in with Crimson Lake. And I'm going to use this to start off my shadowed areas. And I'm gonna have the shadow like on the bush and on her jacket. I'm gonna have the shadow coming from this side because this part of the house comes out in front of the door. So all of the main shadows are going to be on this side. And all of this section would be dark because the handle comes out. I'm not going to worry too much right now if I get any red on the handle. And then I'm going to bring shadow up from the steps. Just make sure that I keep my pencil sharp. We're going to have red steps. I think my pencil sharpener is ready to be emptied. Right, so just bring that shadow up. And then also from the sides of the panels. And then up from the top of the panel. I'm not going to worry too much about the red going on the panel so much because obviously they are going to be the same colour. And then the same from this panel. And then also from the side of this panel. And then coming in with the Mahogany Red. Again, make sure that it's sharp. And again, I'm just going to come out from the edge. And I'm not using a heavy pressure again because I'd like to see where I'm putting all of the colours to begin with. And with this, we're just going over the red we've just put down for now. And we are keeping some red. I am just going back in with the Crimson Lake just down this section here because it will be a bit darker. Just blend that up and down into that. And then I'm going back again with the Mahogany Red. And we're not completely getting rid of the red because there is red undertones in this colour. This just also has the browns in it as well. And we're just going to do that everywhere we put down the Crimson Lake. Then I'm coming back in with Henna. And remember, this was our base colour, so I'm using that to blend all of those colours out. Then I'm going to use the Crimson Lake again. Oh, thank you, Kenny. And with the Crimson Lake, I'm just going back over where we originally put this colour. Just be very careful at the edges of your page. So we're not quite going to the end of each section. And now I'm going to come in with the Tuscan Red, and we're going in the same areas, but we're keeping more to the left on each section. So it looks like I'm putting more pressure on, but again, I'm putting barely any. This colour is just amazing to use as a shadow on reds. And then I'm going to get the henna again and go back in right to left. Not just now, my love. And then again, I'm coming back with the Crimson Lake. And I'm taking it more towards the henna this time. And I think with something like this, it all depends on your own personal preference as to how many layers you do, for whether or not you mind having the white show through from the page. And then I'm going to go back in with the Mahogany Red after I've done this. And those a little bit better. So the Mahogany Red, oh thank you Mary, I'll zoom out once I've finished this section of the door and I'll let everyone see, because I'm just about finished my time slot now. So I'm just going over everything very lightly with the Mahogany Red, because even if I go over the henna, it is still going to be a lot lighter than the rest. But you only want a very, very light pressure, otherwise you'll lose that light section. And like I said earlier, I'll finish this probably whilst I'm watching everybody else stream. And then I'll post up on Instagram and also in my Facebook page the finished result. Okay Sammy, I'll see you no doubt throughout the rest of the day. So I think personally for myself, I'll go over this a couple more times with a few more layers, just so that I can get rid of some more of these white spots. But I'll be doing exactly the same thing. And it'll just be layering up until they've gone. But I'll zoom out and I'll let you see how we're getting so far. There we go. So yeah, that is everything so far, and I've enjoyed colouring this in with you. And as I said, I'll try and get it all finished today. If not, obviously I'll finish it before the end of the month, and I'll use the hashtags, and it will be included. And here is Peeps. It'll be included in the video that I'm going to make this month of my finished pages. You've come along just at the right time, sweetheart, because I'm finished. Oh, I'll definitely share the finished page. It'll be on my Instagram, and also I'll put it in my finished pages video either at the very end of the month or at the beginning of next month. And it'll also be on my Facebook page as well. You gonna say hi? No, just want cuddles. Well, it was lovely streaming for everyone again, and I'll see everyone throughout today, no doubt, in everyone else's streams. There she is. You're gonna say a quick bye. You're so cute, aren't you? But it was lovely to speak to everyone, and enjoy the rest of Disney month. Okay. Oh, my head went right in the way there. But yes, thanks everybody, and bye.